The truth is, a lot of the most effective home defense tactics didn't come from modern security companies, but from ordinary families living through the uncertainty of World War II. People who had no alarms, no CCTV, and no reinforced steel doors still found ways to protect their homes from looters, enemy incursions, and the chaos that came with blackout orders and wartime shortages. Before we dive into these 7 forgotten techniques, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we go deep into the kind of overlooked history most people never learn about, and it genuinely helps the channel grow so we can keep bringing you content that honors the reality of survival heritage. If you're watching this, you already know World War II wasn't only fought on front lines. Civilians had to defend their homes quietly, cleverly, and often with whatever materials they could scavenge. The methods they used weren't fantasy. They were practical, low-tech, resourceful, and they worked. And while we aren't talking about turning your home into some kind of trap house, we're looking at historically accurate, defensive precautions that reduced break-ins using simple physics, deterrence, and smart reinforcement. Things any modern person can ethically adapt for general home resilience without causing harm or engineering dangerous devices. With that said, let's step into the kind of household defenses that kept families safe when police response was slow, electricity unreliable, and nighttime came with real tension. The way glass was reinforced with layered materials played a major role in protecting homes during blackouts. During wartime blackouts, windows had to stay dark, but darkness also attracted thieves. Many families reinforced the inside of their glass using layered cloth soaked in starch or glue, turning fragile panes into semi-flexible barriers. The cloth absorbed impact, keeping the glass from shattering easily. This provided just enough resistance to deter smash-and-grab style break-ins. A modern adaptation is simple and safe, using shatter-resistant window film. It applies in minutes and increases the strength of the pane dramatically. This isn't about trapping anyone. It's just about making your home less vulnerable to the most common forced entry method, breaking the glass. How simple internal shutters gave families a second line of defense. Before plywood became standard, wooden interior shutters were crucial. They didn't just block light, they added a physical barrier that looters hated dealing with. Even lightweight shutters created noise and delay was often enough to scare off intruders who relied on speed. Today, interior shutters or even simple hinge panels offer the same advantage. If someone tries to force entry by breaking a window, they meet a second obstruction that's far more time-consuming than it looks in theory. Families in World War II didn't count on locking systems alone. They created layered defense. You can do the same by installing interior panels that latch from the inside. The placement of heavy furniture turned windows into fortified points. This wasn't glamorous, but it was smart. Families often positioned heavy dressers, tables or trunks under or in front of vulnerable windows. Not to trap anyone, but to reduce how far a window could be opened and to make entry loud and awkward. Even enemy soldiers preferred quiet infiltration, and thieves certainly did. If the window opened inward, the furniture blocked movement entirely. If it opened outward, the frame couldn't be manipulated enough for someone to climb through. You can ethically adapt this idea today by arranging solid furniture near first-floor windows. No special equipment, just smart placement. The use of gravel beds under windows made stealth impossible. Loose gravel wasn't decorative, it was a wartime alarm system. Thieves avoided noise, and stepping on gravel announced every move. The trick was that families didn't spread the gravel widely. They created small, localized beds directly under windows. This forced anyone approaching to reveal themselves audibly. A modern equivalent is simple: a textured surface beneath windows such as small garden stones or coarse mulch. You aren't making a trap, you're making noise a deterrent. WWII. Households relied on sound more than anything else because sound bought time. Now, families use crossbars not as traps, but as reinforcement against forced entry. Crossbars, simple wooden beams fitted across interior windows, were a common defensive technique. They prevented windows from being pushed open and made it nearly impossible for someone to climb in without significant force. These beams were removable, practical, and built from scrap wood. Today, the idea translates into removable window security bars, or even dowels placed in sliding window tracks. Again, completely safe, totally non-lethal, and, historically accurate. This technique didn't harm intruders. It simply made entry nearly impossible without tools. Drapes weren't just for privacy, but for concealment and confusion. During World War II, blackout curtains did more than block light. People layered them to eliminate silhouettes inside the home, making it difficult for prowlers to determine whether a house was occupied. Many thieves avoided houses when they couldn't gauge activity. Today, layered curtains or thermal drapes serve a similar purpose. They obscure views inside and prevent someone from shopping for valuables through the glass. The tactic is psychological, not physical, but honestly, it's highly effective. The habit of creating visible signs of occupancy deterred most thieves before they tried anything. This was one of the most subtle but powerful methods. Families left shoes by the door, hung coats visibly, or placed tools by the window to make it appear someone was awake or working. Thieves in the blackout era wanted easy, empty targets. Something as simple as a lantern placed near a window or a chair angled toward an entry point often convinced would-be intruders to keep moving. Modern homeowners can adapt the same principle with timed lights, open books on a table near a window, or even placing everyday objects that imply activity. These 7 forgotten World War II window defences weren't movie-style inventions. They were practical, ethical, and rooted in real behaviour patterns of intruders during wartime chaos. They prove that home resilience doesn't start with technology. It starts with strategy, layers, and understanding human nature. If you found these historical insights valuable, make sure you subscribe to Legacy of Survival and share this video with fellow history lovers. The more we grow, the deeper we can dig into survival knowledge that deserves to be remembered.